So, good evening to everyone. Welcome to this second appointment of the series, of the seminar series of the VeDPH. And today is my great honor, the pleasure to host Professor Federica Maietti from University of Ferrara. Federica is an architect and associate professor at the Department of Architecture, and a board member of the DIAPReM Centre Development of Integrated Automatic Procedure for Restoration and more. So her interdisciplinary research field is focused on heritage survey and representation for knowledge enhancement and conservation through 3D digital technologies. In this area, she experimented application in different contexts, including Pompeii, Malta, Brazil, India, and Mexico. And being responsible of survey project on Smolensk Historical Center for documentation and diagnostic assessment. She's also involved in several national, European, international research activities. She has been technical coordinator of the Horizon 2020 project INCEPTION, Inclusive Cultural Heritage in Europe through 3D semantic modeling, and she is now co-founder of INCEPTION SRL, an innovative startup company incubated as a spin-off at the University of Ferrara, aimed at developing the outcomes of the project INCEPTION. Now she's a member of the scientific coordinator team of the Horizon 2020 Europe project 4CH, which is a competence center for the conservation of cultural heritage, and she's also a member for the Italian Union on Drawing, the Rich Representation, Advancement and Challenges Association, and ICOMOS, National Committee for Heritage Documentation. Finally, she's author of more than 200 publications in field on digitization, cultural heritage, data integration, and 3D survey and diagnostic procedures. Today, she is going to tell us the result and the outcomes of the INCEPTION project. So we are eager to listen to you, and thank you, Federica. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this kind presentation, and of course, thank you very much for inviting me. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here. Just let me check if I'm able to manage so we can start with this speech. The title of this presentation is Digital Innovation for Cultural Heritage Knowledge and Management. As mentioned by Stefania, I will mainly share the experience starting from the INCEPTION project, from the Horizon 2020 INCEPTION project, but I would like to start with some topical issue nowadays, and with some concept related to the great topic of the digital cultural heritage. That is something that, yes, it's the great part of my research work. And I would like to start with this statement from the Declaration of Cooperation on Advancing Digitization on Cultural Heritage during the Digital Day in 2019 in Brussels, that is, the digital revolution is leading to new and innovative forms. Sorry, I have something. Forms of artistic creation, while making culture and heritage more accessible and opening up new ways of enjoying cultural content. Making our cultural heritage widely available, it's vital. So this statement, I think, it's very crucial in making us thinking about how today accessibility, new ways of enjoying cultural contents, and digital technologies are great keywords that we have to manage in assessing and understanding how to exploit the potential of 3D digital modeling and representation. We need new way to visualize, to apply, and to process data towards new way to enhance, understand, and preserve cultural heritage. I think that the world is changing very, very fast. When we applied for INCEPTION project, it was 2015, and in these 8 or 9 years, a lot of technologies change, a lot of also condition change. So heritage fruition scenarios post-pandemic is something that forced us in our research to think about, to seriously think about what to do with this kind of digital data. A new world, a new perception of users opens up from this pandemic condition. And from this condition, new meanings to technologies for virtual tourism, not only with virtual tourism, but all technologies related to a virtual, so an off-site use of technologies in curating heritage and collection. Heritage sites at risk is something that we have to manage as well, because we know very well, unfortunately, that today the risk of damage and the risk of loss of cultural heritage is very, very high, even higher every day due to natural hazards and pollution and other risks. And we have a new concept nowadays that we have to manage, that is the concept of the cloud. So the space, the cloud space for data sharing. And artificial intelligence, it's a very, very topical word today. And we are now working in the direction of understanding how to exploit artificial intelligence also in the use of data, also in the way of exploit digital data and to create new meanings, new contents, a new way to exploit this great potential of digitization. So it's a great potential, not only cultural, but also economic. So we have also to understand how to do our best to use economic sources and to create the best condition to save cultural heritage and to create new ways to exploit also hidden memories, connected, tangible and intangible heritage. The idea of connected, tangible, and intangible is very related to this project in particular, but it's connected to all my research work in general. And I think it's interesting to combine these two different conditions. Today we have all the needs, all the issues that I've listed before. In 2015, when we applied for this call from the European Commission under Horizon 2020 program, the world was different, but not only because the COVID pandemic was not happened in 2015, but also because the state of the art of technologies was different, because we are working in a field where technologies is very, 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 very fast. Innovation is very, very, very fast. So tools, technologies, and instruments are changing in a way that we need to consider and to assess. The application to this call that it's advanced 3D modeling for assessing and understanding European cultural assets was perfect for us, for my research team at that time. We applied for the part A of the call, that it's research on cost-effective technologies for advanced 3D modeling to enhance understanding of cultural heritage. Why? Because our background was very, very strong and related to the digitization of cultural heritage. Here you can see some example of heritage sites that we surveyed, that we scanned with 3D technologies. Here you can see just a very, very short insight of our work. I just would like to highlight that in this kind of digitization, in this specific part of the scientific area of the survey and representation, this new kind of tools to scan, to survey 3D heritage need to be managed with very carefully, in my opinion, because you have a lot of data, a lot of geometries. You can create these 3D digital models of also very, very complex sites, as you can see in this example. But you have also to understand why you are scanned, why you are working in the direction of having these billions of coordinates and this data. Because very often we have data, but we don't have information connected to data. So 2015 was the perfect moment to apply to the call. Also for us, also to understand, yes, we are at this point of the research, we have to go a step behind the state of the art, and so we decided to do this project. Here you can see the partnership with 14 partners from 10 European countries. Just to say that it was really an interdisciplinary project, because we needed to work together with different kind of expertise. So experts from SMEs, experts from ICT world, in addition to university and to colleagues from the academic world, but also research center, very focused on this kind of innovation of data. Here you can see very shortly the picture of the state of the art of 2015, capturing a lot of tools, a lot of devices, but a lot of time-consuming processing to manage. Thank you. And in the field of 3D processing, the advancement proposed to the state of the art was related to the missing of a BAM standard, a BIM standard for cultural heritage. I will discuss better this great issue of BIM standard for cultural heritage later on. But it was an issue that we faced during the project advancement. And model sharing is the third topic that we manage in order to understand how to create effective to manage. Sorry that some windows are appearing. To manage a way to create platforms or shared space to share digital data. So these are the three main areas of innovation on which we focused on working in the preparation of the proposal for the INCEPTION project. Here you can see graphically this advancement beyond the state of the art. So input data from different devices, the core of the project, the condition of having a specific application and devices in order to share this knowledge, creating different kind of output data to be used for several applications. Here you can see just some graphical example of our idea of using data by different users. So for restoration purposes, of course, for documentation, but also to create the right connection among applications in order to manage data for augmented reality and virtual reality. The state of the art was very complex also in 2015 when we started to work on this project, but it was mainly a state of the art, very rich in great project and great experiences, working mainly on the scale object. So our idea was to work in the scale of the architecture that is a very complex scale to be managed in the field of 3D digitization and data curation. This universe of knowledge maybe can help you in understanding what I mean mentioning complexity, because architecture is a sort of container of different layers of history, different layers of knowledge, different layers of tangible and intangible meanings that we have to put together in a single environment in an easy way to reach this kind of data. So the process was started from the main needs, so assessing, understanding, and analyzing the European identity and diversity in order to effectively use all these kind of technologies, creating a new meanings in using semantic information. So Semantic and metadata were something that guided the project from an ICT point of view, because we needed to understand how to add data about data, information about captured data, in order to create new levels of knowledge. Very shortly, the first objective was related to the inclusiveness and understanding of cultural heritage, facilitating collaboration among different disciplines. The second one was related to cost-effective procedures and enhancement for on-site 3D survey and reconstruction of cultural heritage. And the third one was related to the development of an open standard semantic web platform for assessing, processing, and sharing interoperable data. The first action was really, let's say, essential, was the basis, was the knowledge basis to create the following steps. So the idea of putting together different expertise and users was central in order to try to catch the right direction for the project. The second one was related to the innovation in data capturing and 3D survey, and the central part of action for semantics and metadata in the open platform is the one that you can see here in this short schema. So starting from the big issue of the HBIM technologies, we work in the direction of creating a workflow from the 3D point cloud, so from the 3D data capturing to the 3D modeling in the parametric environment, in order to connect all this data in an accessible platform, and users once again were at the center of the project. The process so was divided into this kind of specific action, starting from user requirements, 3D data acquisition, new approaches, BIM semantic modeling, the deployment in order to create also a set for users application, and of course demonstration cases and the platform. Just two words on the inception protocol. That was the first, and one of the main project outcomes, because the idea of creating a specific workflow, considering that each heritage is unique and that we are surveying a cultural heritage, even if you have the best technology, the best tool, the most performing machine, working on the 3D scanning, you have to be really aware of what you are doing, and you have to consider the unicity of this cultural heritage. So you have to be able to use at the best the potential of the technology, bearing in mind that this cultural artifact needs to be explored according to different layers of knowledge. So the idea of having a protocol with specific steps working in the direction to create the best possible procedure of 3D survey was the first step. If you have a 3D survey that it's really set, focused on the need that you have to reach, well, your work started in the best possible way, because the idea of creating specific digitization according to the aim of the project is something that in the scientific world of the survey, even the direct survey, the survey on contact, you have to start with the aim of your project. So the fact that the 3D survey it's a quantitative survey, because you can put the tool on the scan station and start the survey. You can have a lot of coordinates, but you have to know what to do with this kind of data. The holistic approach to digital documentation started from these concepts. So starting from this idea of going a step forward, the process in 3D scanning, up to this holistic approach, considering the idea of putting together different data, also from different sources. Here you can see just some example of what we tested during the Inception project. Of course, we tested some demonstration cases specifically selected in order to have different context, different kind of complexity to be managed within the project. So historical, archaeological sites, heritage buildings, and museums were tested to understand if all this advancement, all these tools in this workflow that we set, yes, was really focused to reach the goal of the Inception project. Just to show you that we involved a lot of stakeholders also to understand the main outcome of the project. So the expectation on this kind of 3D models and the expectation from this kind of results. So what to do with this kind of new processes, what to do with this kind of protocol, a new workflow, and what to do with a new way to share data in 3D environments, just to understand the expectation from different kind of users, expert and non-experts. And the main section of the project was related to this concept of interlinking data that I mentioned before. So very often a problem in the 3D world, of course, related to the architecture and to complexity, so also to urban scale. One of the main problems is that we have a lot of potential, a lot of technologies, a lot of data set, but also fragmented. So everything is fragmented, and very often it's not possible to put together different kind of digital works that could be put together and merged. So the idea of merge this different kind of data and the intangible dimension of this data was at the center of the development of the platform. Here you can see just an example of what I mean with this interlinking process. Sorry for the text and for the technical data, but just to make you understand the core of this project, that it's the semantic approach in order to add value to the 3D world, using, of course, open standard for geometry. IFC, maybe you are familiar with this kind of file format. If you know what it's a B model, BIM is something that it's at the top of the research nowadays in the field of architecture, because it's this collaborative parametric environment that was born to manage new construction project, but that now we need to apply also to existing buildings. And this kind of need, well, it's a challenge when you have to manage geometries, very irregular geometries, and the unicity in cultural heritage, because a new building is very regular and standardized. Nothing is standard in cultural heritage. So the approach to BIM, it's at the top of the research nowadays. So the idea was to try to go a step forward in this. Also working with specific file format. Here you can see the IFC, that it's a standard in the world of BIM, and of course the idea of using this kind of file format to enrich data in a semantic manner. To do these, ontologies that were tested in the project are standard ontology. IFC all is the ontology on which the platform is based, but we tested other kind of ontology in order to create this kind of interoperability among different kind of data, considering that ontology can be defined as a formal depiction of a shared conceptualization. And so the issue in semantic search engine is how to exploit this kind of interoperability to collect meanings based on a formal description. That is the issue of 3D BIM model translated into this semantic tripos. This is IT language, but it's at the core of this system. That means how to aggregate different kind of data working with this specific file format. After the project inception, we experimented the new kind of development on the platform. So in addition to the ontology tested during the project, we added some experimentation in the domain of Europeana data model. Just to mention the Europeana collection, that is a very well-known platform of cultural heritage, but also the ARCO ARCO, that is the ontology for the Italian catalog of cultural heritage or other kind of ontologies. So the Inception core engine, that is the core of the platform, is the solution that is based on this semantic approach, where you can explore BEAM and HBEAM model and the web data, aggregating this kind of information, put it together, geometries and other kind of different information, so documents, so analysis, other kind of textual information, other kind of research, all aggregated in this kind of platform. Here you can see just in the static vision the interface. I have also short video so you can see something more about the platform. The concept was to create different kind of assets, uploaded models in the platform. So here you can see the geographical search, but also the search from typology. So the model were uploaded on the platform, starting from the IFC format, because the IFC is the format, the parametric format that makes the possibility to create this aggregation of data. And in the platform, it's possible to add additional data connected to the geometries. Here you can see the case study of Cyprus, for instance, that it's a small church. On the right, you can see the BEAM model in a transparent visualization, and on the left, you can see pictures, specific picture related to the frescoes, to the paintings inside the church. And here you can see an additional context that it's possible to exploit from the platform. That is the 3D digitization, in this case in RGB, so in the color data of all the interior frescoes of this small church. Another example that we tested is the Istituto degli Innocenti in Florence, that we scanned in the 3D less scanning. Here you can see the point cloud. I think that this building by Brunelleschi is very it's able to explain what complexity is in cultural heritage, working with this kind of data. And once again, in the platform environment, you can manage the IFC model, so the BEAM model, selecting specific geometric entity. In this case, you can see the Tondi by Della Robbia, and you can check for additional information directly connected to the geometry. In this case, pictures, but of course you can add videos, text, iconographic picture, and other contents. The architecture beyond this platform is the one that I explained shortly before. So the idea of creating this semantic path in putting together what it's possible to exploit from the parametric geometries, searching in the web what it's possible to add using web sources is something that was really challenging in this project development. Here you can see in the interface of the BEAM modeling how it's possible to add specific items, specific features to the geometric object directly when the 3D modeling in the parametric environment is managed. And here you can see one of the most recent case study that we performed together with the Institute for Catalog and of Cultural Heritage. In this case, you can see one of the opportunity of visualization that the platform offers. So you can see the IFC model on the left, so geometries, the model in the parametric environment, but you can see also the visualization of the texture of the model, because one of the main topic in managing cultural heritage is to have different kind of visualization. Sometimes you need the 3D point clouds because you need geometries. Sometimes you need the IFC model because you need geometries in a parametric entity, but texture and color and pictures and all the let's say surface features are something that we have to consider, we have to analyze, we have to document very carefully. So there's a specific way to visualize this kind of data within the platform that allow also to create an hybrid visualization. So you can have the geometries in the parametric mode, and you can, thanks to a superimposition, you can also have the texture, and you can work in transparent way. This is very useful because when you are assessing specific features of specific part of the building, well, you have also to understand the condition of the real picture of the 3D model, and yes, the concept is the same. In this case, you can see how it's possible to connect data directly from other digital catalog, in this case, the ICCD, the Institute for Catalog and Documentation of the Italian Ministry of Cultural Heritage. So you can see that you can select the building, you can see the 3D texture HB model, and you can click on a specific object, geometric object, and open context, in this case, the high resolution picture of this specific chapel. So the concept is this. Of course, during the project, we tested also specific possible application to exploit the potential of this platform, also to create application for virtual or augmented reality that in 2015, yes, were very, very experimented, but now more and more because the possibility to have off-site and off-site exploration, of course, are very crucial nowadays. So we experimented some possible interfacing link with the API, so specific application programming interface for once again add information and add contents to the 3D models, thinking about navigation with the headset, so on site. With this kind of pop-up to have additional information, but also, of course, in off-site conditions, so navigating this immersive exploration. Here you can see some museums. Of course, we experimented this kind of application mainly in museums, case studies, so the museums in Hydra in Greece, and the Museum of Innocenti in Florence, where you can see this strange visualization is because it's a picture at 360 degrees in order to have the immersive environment when you are using also headset. And other kind of application are related to this kind of simulation of digital environments. And something that we experimented is related to possible simulation of the condition of a specific building or site during centuries, so during time. And here you can see just some example of this work. Other application, of course, conceive the opportunity to use mobile devices to have new knowledge and to have opportunity to exploit specific information where you are on site. The application I mentioned before that we call the time machine, the Inception time machine, is represented in this schema. You can model the building according to different historical phases, starting from the beam modeling. So you can add specific century to the element. Of course, the historical research and all the source documents are at the basis of this kind of work. But you can work merging all the historical research and all the historical documentation and all drawings and documents to create this kind of reconstruction that can be integrated with the present condition of the building, putting together the archive search and documentation with the most up-to-date technologies to put this information together in a unique environment, exploring changes over time on the building. Other application, we are in Zagreb, another kind of museum, but with other requirements from the curator of the museum to have information in this case about this great structure that is very peculiar in the Tesla Museum in Zagreb, and also the requirements to have other kind of interfaces and information to have additional contents about the technical objects that are collected at the museum. I'm going to conclude this section just mentioning that after the end of INCEPTION, we completed the project in 2019. We funded a spin-off, so a startup company incubated at the University of Ferrara. You can see the link if you want to explore. And of course, the spin-off, the main activities of the spin-off are related to the platform that I explained before, that is the ICE platform. That is the core results of the project, and as a spin-off, we applied for another European project within Horizon 2020. That is the 4CH Competence Center on the conservation of cultural heritage. So after the end of the project, a lot of new events. So the spin-off and the opportunity to apply for European project in a different form from the university entity. And in this case, the call was a coordination and support action to create a competence center on the conservation of cultural heritage. The project was funded. We are 19 partners, and so it's very huge project that now it's ongoing. The 4CH project is quite an advancement on the main needs that moved from inception. The idea from the European Commission was to design, to conceive a European competence center focused on the conservation of cultural heritage, putting together the most advanced experience and the ICT technologies to create this kind of environment able to provide expertise, advice, services, and focusing mainly on 3D technologies, because the European Commission and current research activities are really focused on the 3D environment nowadays, because it's a need that it's urgent for the reasons that I explained at the beginning of my lecture. So holistic approach, using the state-of-the-art 3D documentation, the idea to create policies and strategies and guidelines for data acquisition, management, and storage, and other mission that you can shortly see in this slide, basically focused on the creation of set of tools really able to create this environment, this competence center that at European level it's conceived, as you can see in this schema. So the idea is to work at European, national, and local level, because the main center of the 4CH project is the community. So it's the scientific community, is the community of people that every day is involved in different action to to document, to create, to catalog, to preserve, and to restore cultural heritage. So the big family, the community of the 4CH project is conceived according to this idea. And of course, very brief, shortly, the objective are several. Just let me highlight the one related to the 4CH platform. So the objective is to start from the technologies that now we can have, and INCEPTION is just one of different platforms and technologies that can be put together for this mission. And as follow up after this project completion or project conclusion, and after the beginning of the 4CH project, other action started. One is the expert group on digital cultural heritage and Europeana. That is something that the European Commission promoted in order to go on with the mission of using 3D digitization for cultural heritage. So results achieved during INCEPTION was among other, of course, other funded projects. At the starting point of this, let's say, evolution of the world of 3D digital heritage. So the INCEPTION results were included in this report, 3D content in Europeana. You can find a lot of documentation on the website of the European Commission, produced by this task force, focused on the analysis of 3D digitization of heritage artifacts, including, of course, all the scales, objects, and buildings. And the viewer, so the platform developed under INCEPTION, was listed as the one of the main or the only solution for assessing 3D BIM data together with related semantic information. So the work of the platform and the idea of starting in the direction of creating this kind of digital environment when 3D models can be approached in this semantic environment was very supported also by the European Commission, and this visualizator that I showed you before was considered as a starting point very relevant. Other follow-up are the one listed. Of course, you can check from a lot of very interesting contents at the link I mentioned, because the work on the 3D digitization is going on, and a lot of documentation is under production. The 10 basic principles document that I mentioned here, it's something that developed the INCEPTION protocol. So we started proposing these guidelines to create a way of working the direction of having standards workflow also to digitization and documentation, and this work on basic principle and tips for digitization is a follow-up of this idea. Another core activity that the Commission expert group is working on now is the European data space for cultural heritage. That is a great forum, let's say, for cooperation on digitization, conservation, and preservation of cultural heritage. And so the European Commission is really active in promoting this idea of creating this common data space for cultural heritage. That is something that it's quite new, thinking about the condition, the environment, and the infrastructure in 2015 when we started this work. So the process is very fast, and the process to create this innovation opportunities for the European Commission are very, very, let's say, crucial and very, very challenging. Just some insights from what is possible to search, exploring the portal of the European Commission, also exploring the results of the projects related to funded projects related to cultural heritage. Just to mention that, of course, INCEPTION is not the only one project funded in 2015 under the topic of 3D digitization. Other very, very relevant projects were funded. Here you can see, you can check for some of this great work performed by a lot of colleagues all over Europe in order to go in the same direction. And this was the main contents of the work of INCEPTION and follow-ups. If I have just 5-6 minutes, just to show you the a very, very short video that maybe can be helpful in explaining in a dynamic way the platform, the INCEPTION platform. I hope that. Okay. Sorry, where to share again? Just let me introduce this video. This is a presentation of the project, so I will skip all the first part because it's basically the same that I have already explained. But I just would like to show you some minutes, a couple of minutes of this video to show you the platform. So here you know very well. Yes, here we are to the example of the digitization of the Institute of Innocenti in Florence, and this is the part related to the work of INCEPTION that combine the point clouds up to the creation of this beam, H-beam in this case, H-beam model. Here you can see the test model realized, and here you can see how it's possible in the parametric environment to add knowledge, to add information, and to create the specific items or tag connected to the geometries, a lot of information and a lot of data. In the schema are mentioned text, pictures, videos, all sources that is possible to aggregate can be considered. And here you can see the interface of the platform, where you can select buildings from the geographical search, or starting from the menu of the different typologies of building. And you can see how it's possible to, in this case, just to navigate, uploaded model on the platform. Here we are in Cyprus, and the paintings that you saw before can be explored in a 3D environment. And here you can see the transparent visualization of the beam model of the Innocenti, and here you can see the IT part of the semantic approach. In this case, the aggregated knowledge is the Getty thesaurus, art and architecture thesaurus, in order to share contents about architectural elements, in this case the column or the tondo by Della Robbia. And of course, video can be connected in order to create additional knowledge, additional way to explore contents. Of course, the great opportunity is that all these contents are connected to geometry. When you are managing cultural heritage and survey, you have to manage the challenge of the accuracy of the survey, and you have to manage geometries in a very accurate way. So putting together geometries, controlled geometries, and all this additional data is something very, very very great, because you can really exploit the best from the 3D digitization that today is possible to do with this kind of technologies, but you can also merge additional levels of knowledge from other domains. So you can really create the opportunity to have this interdisciplinary work, because it's a very, very used word, the interdisciplinary, but it's not so easy to create great and really effective opportunity to have interdisciplinary approach. And I think that it's something that we have to consider, because the idea of giving the opportunity to a non-expert in IT technologies or architecture to have an environment where put together historical sources or other items, I think that it's at the basis of this new concept of interoperability and this new concept of knowledge sharing, that it's the mission of not only INCEPTION spin-off and the 4CH project, but it's also the mission, in my opinion, of
no,
lo sta condividendo. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Just yes. Just just to conclude the presentation, an additional video that was performed by Eurovision, that is the channel. Magari dall'inizio mentre parlo, tanto è corto. The channel of the European Commission that was created at the end of the project inception, and which I think it's interesting because it's summary of the content of the project, and of course it was great that the European Commission asked us to develop this video. It's also an opportunity to show you my colleagues that of course are part of the INCEPTION project and the INCEPTION spin-off. And this video was asked and was asked by the European Commission because it was a very successful experience according to the comment during the final review meeting in 2019 in Zagreb, and it was considered as a successful experience, the INCEPTION project, mainly because of this very innovative way to build the semantic environment in aggregating 3D models and aggregating all the opportunities to have this semantic and metadata together. So the video is it's great because you can see well, in the case study of Florence, we are in the context of the by Cornelisti, and was really appreciated by European Commission work, and the demonstration that the work was evaluated as useful. It's the involvement that INCEPTION now is having in this new initiative under the European Commission, and these task force groups are active now with the presence of people from INCEPTION. So I think it's the great follow-up, the idea to be useful in creating new opportunities, a new possible evolution in the application of the 3D and ICT environment for cultural heritage. People are
partying.
A party, yes. So maybe you are hearing some noise, but yes, just to show you in the end the great environment of the painting in the video. And I think that we can conclude by showing that second part was the video in Ferrara, here we are at the DIAPReM Centre, that is my laboratory, and you can see some application during the work of the inception. Here we are working of technology. So it was, yes, a really great experience to perform all this action technology project, and it's of course a pleasure to go on today working on this. I hope it was clear enough. This is a very big universe of knowledge and technologies. Maybe it's, I don't know if so easy to understand in some technical parts, because the architecture world, when we are working with these big issues of let's say, from one side geometries and coordinates in data and all the issues related to survey and representation, and from the other side the idea of creating this added value in putting together also the work of other experts, other people that are working at level of historical search or documentation and so on. So it was a pleasure to share with you all this contents, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Federica. It was our pleasure to listen to you and to learn a lot. To listen for myself, I learned really a lot, especially related to the follow-up of the Inception project that I was lucky to see in her birth at the beginning in Ferrara. And but first, if there are any questions from the audience inside here at the VeDPH or online. Do not hesitate.
One question.
One question.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations, because what you talked about today is great and very inspiring. And
thank you.
The project will go on and you'll achieve great results. You mentioned you work on archaeological sites too. How was that? Like, how was applying BIM to archaeology? Because that's a huge, problem. It's way more difficult than doing HBIM. HBIM is difficult because you are trying to use a technology, methodology, let's call it, BIM, which was not, as you said, was not meant for built products, but somehow you can build HBIM models, and they are very, useful as you showed us. What about archaeology? Well, what was your experience with that? Because we are starting to see some examples, but I think the way is still, ongoing on that front.
Yeah, thank you for your question, because yes, I mentioned very quickly the issue of BIM for architecture. Of course, that it's my field of knowledge, but yes, the issue of BIM and HBIM, well, it's a separate lecture of 3 hours at least, because it's a very challenging. Action nowadays. When we experimented Inception, we had just one case study from archaeological sites in Greece, of course. It was, yes, very difficult to have an interesting, let's say, to have effective results during the project preparation. So we focused mainly on other kind of test pilots to experiment the application of geometries, platform, and metadata, and the semantic approach, let's say. But we manage this kind of application at archaeological sites with very an effort by partners from Greece, because it was different also the scenarios in 2015. Now it's another world, because the software are changing, so the tools are changing. because the main environment for working in parametric modeling are creating plugin to overcome some issues. I didn't mention, because of course, to be short, the photo modeling, so the structure from motion technologies that now we can use at the object scale, of course, to have additional kind of data to be explored, creating these irregular geometries in BIM environments. So the problem is not solved, but the research is going on. We have we experimented, my colleague Marco Medici, to mention, one of the main person of the INCEPTION spin-off, experimented something together with the Institute of Cultural Heritage, the ICCD, for underwater archaeology. So you can explore the platform and you can see, not now because maybe it's off, and we have to check, because we are working, of course, to implement the platform continuously. But an experimentation was also done in the underwater archaeology, of course, small object with this kind of instruments that can scan underwater, so having geometries, and then exploring in the platform this kind of data and this kind of semantics, adding semantics. So yes, I think that it's not solved, of course, because well, from one side it's solved, and it's time consuming, because of course you can stay hours and hours and hours drawing and trying to use for your purpose the great software that today are available, and it's possible to do this. But it's still quite time consuming, and of course you have to limit somehow some specific operational representation. That's why very often it's let's say sometimes it's better to have the connection with this kind of 3D model obtainable by photogrammetry or structure from motion, because you can manage information, texture and geometry in a unique environment, and then trying to create your parametrization by working with this software. But it's a very
it's something to work
topical
on.
Yes,
because it's not only geometry, it's also like semantics, and IFC doesn't consider, the partial data like what we have in archaeology. The classes, like IFC classes, are for entire objects, like a column, like a wall. And we don't have maybe an entire wall, we have just a piece of that or the foundation. But I think it's something that maybe can be a development also for archaeology, because and we are part of the cultural heritage.
I'm sure, because in the world of cultural heritage, let's say the building or at the urban scale is something that in Italy we will have to face very, very soon, because of also from a regulation point of view, let's say, because now it's required BIM for specific kind of work in construction field, but I know that also for big sites, restoration sites, it will be required also in the field of restoration and cultural heritage. So we have to. I'm sure that the speed of the innovation in the field of BIM and HBIM in these years will be very, 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 very fast.
Yeah, and I think it's a technology that is here to stay. To be improved. Sorry, I didn't understand if the platform is accessible.
Yes, the platform is accessible, and you can find the link by the website of the INCEPTION project, and from maybe also from the website of the spin-off. Sometimes it's not searchable because, of course, we performed a version for the project, and then a lot of technical issues happened, and we are still working on the platform. So it's possible to, but I can share the link maybe.
Yeah. I just want to
yes.
It's in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question. Maybe raise hand. Igor. Hi.
Hello. So first of all, thank you for a very inspiring presentation. The Inception framework looks really impressive. And my first question is actually possible also from people from outside Inception project to upload models there and play a bit with the infrastructure on their own? And the second question, currently there's also huge discussion among the 3D model heritage community about the metadata, and I wanted to ask if during the upload you have like minimal core metadata standard which we are using, or people are free to upload the metadata whatever they would like to.
Thank you so much for your question. Well, the first question, yes, it's possible to upload model on the Inception platform. Well, of course, we have to manage the access. So there is a registration to have the possibility to upload models. And up to now, let's say we have not a minimum requirements of data. You have to upload an IFC model, and then you can manage to add the contents according to the, of course, the specific heritage work or heritage sites. And this opening to the implementation and to the user. By different users was of course one of the main the main requirements. Up to now, we are working on this environment because we just in these days we updated the visualizator that I presented before to managing this double view of IFC and texture and the mixed view. So it's under processing, but yes, the idea is that it will be let's say in a stable environment, and people can just with the registration be able to implement the data and to upload models. We hope to be ready to do this in the coming months.
And one more question, maybe. You showed us this reference to the Getty AAT in the metadata visualizator, let's say. And I wanted to ask if this connection needed to be done already in the software during modeling, or is it possible to enrich the metadata in the model after the upload to the Inception?
Well, when we created this connection to the Getty, it was done in the parametric environment. So modeling the tondo or the column in the specific box of the data enrichment, let's say of the software, it was possible to add these contents and to reach it again after the uploading of the RDC on the model. But it's also possible to add this kind of data from the platform, because you have I don't know if it was clear from the picture, you can select the geometrical object and you can add contents, and you can of course visualize and navigate, but in the side of the platform for upload, you can also add this kind of link and contents.
Okay.
You will be able to do this. Well, welcome.
So, other question.
Sorry, a brief question about this. Is that like editing in the platform will change the IFC file? Like you said, if you can add content from the platform, right?
Yes.
You can add this reference to the Getty or playlist. Is that going to be then saved on the platform level or on the IFC file? if you're going to change the IFC file?
Well, it depends from the kind of work you have to do. So you can upload an IFC. The platform has different scopes. We call scopes. So the ludic, scientific, touristic, and so according to the approach and data that you need to explore or to manage, you can choose for different application, of course. The main, let's say, the main part of managing the platform is related to the user's interaction, because we have to be sure to manage in the best way possible opportunities to upload controlled. Let's say, it's not a quality control, this not sound very well, but it's a form of quality control, of course, because we have to be sure that the data are somehow, let's say, certified. So how did you perform this 3D scanning? What kind of data are you going? So yes, this is the part. That's why we are waiting to open up the platform to all users, because we have to manage this kind of. After having uploaded the IFC, you can add knowledge, you can add documentation, semantic, you can aggregate knowledge to geometries. So you can perform a set of operation before when you are working on the IFC, and then you can add knowledge after having uploading my pleasure.
Good. So, other question from the audience at home or here? Maybe Stefano.
Yeah. If there is no anybody else, just out of curiosity, I was wondering, how did you choose the sites, the buildings you first included in the platform? Is it by architectural typology or chronology or places or what?
Very, very, very good question. Thank you very much, because I skipped very quickly the part of the project related to the selection of the demonstration cases. Of course,
it wasn't possible to say everything. I mean, I was impressed by the amount of information.
I tried to say everything, but it was not possible. Yes, we decided to select different kind of buildings according to different typology, different kind of state of conservation, different kind of functions, so museums, buildings, archaeological sites. So we selected for different levels of complexity of size, so small churches and Innocenti that is very big, in order to have a variety of cases, the most possible wider parameters to be managed during the test of the process. And so, yes, we tested all over Europe according to the partners' nationality, of course. And yes, we selected according to this kind of differences. So museums with specific requirements, sites, historical sites with specific issues in terms of conservation. But we work a lot with curators also. So every partner checked in the nation or city, checked for specific real requirements from the cultural heritage world. So is there a museum that needs to be understood, that needs to improve the collection, to do some. We try to work a lot with curators and site managers for different sites. In order to have also different scopes in modeling and in creating the upload of the models on the platform, because of course Brunelleschi, it's very well known, but the issue is how to manage historical information and other data about the building. While the small church in Cyprus is quite unknown, but it's rich in history and intangible dimension also of knowledge and culture. So we decided to select diversity and different kind of typological and yes.
How many buildings overall?
The demonstration cases during the inception development were 9, if I remember well. Yes, 9 buildings.
9 different countries.
No, because we tested 2 buildings in Greece, one in Hydra, one in Athens, 1 building in Croatia, 1 building in Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, 1 building in Spain. Yes, more or less 1 building for just Greece, 2 demonstration cases. But yes, we look for diversity.
Really, really good. Other question? I have just another one, because you mentioned that one of the features of the Inception platform is to create this time machine in building. And you know really well that there is this supported coordination action, the time machine project. And I was wondering if for this follow-up situation, so the Inception spin-off, you have any collaboration or any partnership also with this project?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we know very well the time machine project. Of course, we knew also during the project development. And yes, we are working in another funded project as an Inception spin-off. The name of this project is 5D Culture. So we added 2 dimensions to the 3D. We added 2 additional dimensions in terms of knowledge and cultural sites, and we are working with Time Machine, yes, as a partner. But yes, in the development of the project, it was interesting to create this kind of application, also to understand how to connect the modeling phase and all the issues in the modeling phase, to considering the overall analysis, historical analysis of the building, having also the opportunity to switch on and off the change over centuries of the buildings. It was interesting because, of course, you can use geometries and reconstruction also to, for a lot of assessments on historical sites. So it was, it was very interesting.
So, if there are no any other questions, maybe we can thank you again, Federica, for this really dense, impressive presentation. Really, I really wish to see the result of the further result of the 4CH, and maybe to have you here also to present it. So thank you, and thank you also for being here. I'm going to just remind you, because otherwise Franz would be angry on me, the last seminar of this series for 19 of April. We have Emanuela Carbè here from the University of Siena, presenting a topic on all the issues and the new perspective for born digital literary archives. So we changed a little bit field, and yes, we will wait you in a month. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here. So thank you once again.
See you next time.